Michael Lewis saw that Rogers had to make a lot of grounds and doesn't have the best of arms, and he came back for the second run. Here is David to bowl to Lewis. Lewis is on driving nicely. They've gone for one, looking for a second. No, they're not going to get it there. It's Peters who came off the long on boundary. Feels well, sends the return back to the bowler. Score moves on by 1 to 68. 68. Lewis is on to 6. Beam is winning the toss, choosing to bat. So watch David moves away to bowl to Burton. Burton is dabbing this one straight to point and takes off, gets one. They can be looking for a second. They're coming back for it. And they're going to get it very easily too. And they can get a third. And they're going to get it too. Oh.
Okay.
And they can get a fourth. And they're coming back for a fourth. And they can get a fifth run. Oh, my. A comedy of errors. A comedy of errors. And 4 runs.
Well,
4 runs by Burton. And all this happened in the 30-yard circle.
Yes, certainly not backing up properly. And as you said, Millie, a comedy of errors. There should have never been more than the single in that.
The score moves on to 72. And a ball that was played to the backward point on the edge of the circle. 4 runs.
Don't ask me. Just relax, have a drink, you'll know.
72 for 2. 72 for 2. Burton is on 12. Burton is on 12. Lewis is on 6. As we watch David who runs away. Pass the umpire ball to Burton down the leg side. Wide call and signal by the umpire. Score moves on by 1. Extras on to 7. Extras on to 7. And 73 is the score. 73 for 2 in over number 11, been bowled by David from the Central Polyclinic end. David turns, that's the way it is. Burton goes on the track and does some gardening. Here is David to bowl to Burton. Burton is advancing and then gets there, realizing that the ball was touch wide. Got a bat to it, but Burton feels well on this occasion. No run resulting. Score remains on 73. 73 for 2 over number 11.
And Burton is advancing a little too early, so the bowler is spotting it and pitching it a little wide.
Indeed. Giving the bowler heads up. Here is David. There's a slow ball. He's running this one to short third. They've gone for one. Will come back for a second. He's sprinting back. This could be trouble! And it's gone. Suicide second run. Suicidal, and the all-important wicket is gone. The dangerous Dion Burton is run out for 13, and the B.W.I has suffered a further setback.
Yes, sir, certainly never a second run in that. Played back towards backward point. The fielder came to his right, and when he was completing the run, the fielder was virtually in the process of picking up the ball. So that's a wicket that could be considered given away on that occasion. There was no need to hustle for the second, and they certainly paid the price, Millie.
Indeed, that wasn't 2 runs at all. That wasn't 2 runs, and in the end, Burton committing suicide. He goes for 13. It's 74 for 3. The B.W.I's Durham, the tall left-handed batsman all around now. St. Martin Leeward Island player walks to the middle to join his counterpart in Michael Lewis, and they will have to now rebel and consolidate and look to bat very deep into this innings to amount a score of respectability.
Certainly there is no element for consolidating now, Millie. You're talking about another 9 overs, 54 balls. So whatever they are going to have to do, they are going to have to be in a haste to do it. First of all, they'll be looking for a total of more than 1 run per ball, and then looking maybe for 7 runs per over, or if they can dare getting towards 8 per over.
Yes, well, not a good judge of a run there at all. Ball was hit to was dabbed to short third, looking for a second run, and Rogers was quickly off the mark and Hawley returned to the wicketkeeper Kishan Richardson, who whipped the bails off, and I saw Dion Burton miles down the track. Here is Jacob Pauls with his final over. So far he has bowled 3 overs and picked up 2 for 10. 2 for 10 from his 3. Jacob Pauls. Daniel Durham, the new batsman. And to Michael Lewis, long off. The extra cover, backward point. There's a man going into short third. And extra cover, the offside field. On the onside, there is a man on a long on boundary, short mid wicket, deep mid wicket, and short fine leg. Here is Pauls to bowl to Lewis. Lewis is coming forward and walking that one. On the onside, this could be trouble, and he slipped and was able to regain his balance and got back in his crease. Well, he went turning and really his shoe failed, but was able to get back into his crease, Ralph. Score remains on 74. 74 for 3. 74 for 3. Here is Jacob to bowl to Lewis. Lewis is getting this one off the outside edge. It's running close to the boundary. Is it going to get into the third man boundary? In fact, it does. It goes away for 4.
Well, certainly that was a better shot this time. The batsman opening the face of the bat and just allowing to slide off to the left of the fielder at backward point and into the boundary. And really, I was just contemplating on the wisdom behind bowling out Pauls, is because he seems to be the kind of difficult person if you're going on a run hunt later on. But once you get rid of him, then it might certainly be easier for the other batters.
Well, it might be easier for the other batters, but it may be pressure for the other batters, as they would have to come in and get an immediate start. And so the pressure is all around. It's the pressure of the finals. It's the pressure of the finals. Jacob Pauls, number 7 on his back, moves away in his final over to bowl to Lewis. Lewis is getting one that is cracking away down to the man on the extra cover boundary. They have gone for one. While everybody is going down. The fielder went down, the batsman going down. For the second time we have seen Lewis hitting the deck. Score moves on by 1 to 79. Lewis is on to 11. Durham yet to face the ball. 11 from 13 is Michael Lewis. Daniel Durham, about 6'2", 6'3", somewhere there. Ralph? Well, about 6'7", somebody said. Oh, he's a very tall man. A very tall man. Field changes over to accommodate the left-handed batsman. Durham taps away. Waits for Jacob Pauls. Pauls walks and then breaks into a jog, bowls to Durham. Durham is pulling this one up back the track on the onside. Jacob doesn't feel it is Ashan Hodge who comes around in the field. It's cheatish. Short mid-wicket, Ashan Hodge. Score remains on 79. 79 for 3 in over number 12. At the end of this over, the next voice you're going to hear is the man Keith Carty. And again, similar shot, a very identical occurrence. Ashan Hodge fields, no run resulting. Score remains on 79. 79 for 3. Durham yet to score. Durham taps away, waits for Pauls. Final ball of his spell. Picked up 2 for 15 so far. Here is Pauls to bowl to Durham. Durham is driving one. Oh, Lewis is out of his crease. They've gone for one, looking for a second, and it's not on. At the end of the over, the end of Jacob's spell, his bowler spell, 4 overs, and has taken 2 for 16 rounds.
Certainly he has done his work. He has been the tricky bowler in terms of the razor massive attack, and is certainly one of the things the Beamers wouldn't want to do today, is like has been done in the past, to lose wickets in a bundle. And most of the wickets going down thus far would have gone down from very careless and unnecessary errors. And they'll be looking for a score somewhere in the 150 region. Anything under that would always be suspect on this firm Webster Park wicket. But it's left to be seen, and welcome, Keith.
Well, good afternoon to you, Ralph. Good afternoon to all our listeners to the feed that we are transmitting here from the Webster's Park in the Valley, Anguilla. Of course, it's the final of the Anguilla Premier T20 League, and of course, this game is between Razor Massive and the Stony Ground Beamers, and I would predict that we should have a very interesting finish come this afternoon. But at present, the score 80 for the loss of 3, unbeaten so far. Lewis has 11 and Durham has 1. So we're in the course of the 13th over now, and it's going to be, is it Burton to bowl from the far end? Yeah. And he's going to be bowling to Daniel Durham. Comes up to bowl to Durham. Durham gets the that he goes back to and punches it back over the bowler's head and down to mid-on, where Jacob came off the boundary to do the feeding. Not before the batsman crossed for a single, which takes the score now to 81 for the loss of 3. Durham goes to 2. And as we welcome Relford Kilsick to the microphones.
Yes, good afternoon, listeners, wherever you are. And we are in for an exciting game here, the finals of the 2022 APL. So wherever you are, if you're at home, you come to the Webster's Park, or you can watch on the television. That's YouTube, Mega Charles 54. So check it out, or you come or listen to the radio.
So Burton is going to come in to bowl to Lewis once more. The score 81 for the loss of 3 in brilliant sunshine. Here is Moulton as he comes up now to bowl to Lewis. Lewis is forward to a flight to deliver, hits it in the air. The catch is taken, dropped there at the backward point region, and they are cross for 1. They are now turning for the second, and that's a woeful miss from the fielder there in that point region. And in the end, 2 runs comfortably had, but when it should have been a wicket coming back to the place pavilion, Lewis has gone on to 2.
It's a very easy catch. I don't know if he misjudged it or what, but it went in and it was out, and the batters were able to get 2 more runs. Bad miss there.
The total has gone now to 83 for the loss of 3 wickets. The last batsman to be dismissed was Dion Burton. He was run out for 13. Here is Burton now to bowl to Lewis, who's sweeping down the onside, not making contact. The signal of wide comes from the umpire, acknowledged by a scorers. Extras goes on by 1 now to 8, and the score pushes on by 1 to 84 for the loss of 3. So here is Burton from the central poly end as he comes up now to bowl to Michael once more. Short delivery, Michael goes back and turns it in the onside. It looks as though Webster did the fielding, but not before the batsman crossed for a single, which takes the score now to 85 for the loss of 3. And with that, Lewis goes to 14. Ashan Hodge, I'm sorry. Of course, his mom is a Webster. His father is a Hodge, so you know, but it's correctly to get his name correct. So Burton is going to come up to bowl to Daniel Durham. Durham goes back to a shortish delivery, one that kept the trifle low and struck the batsman on his pad and trickled out towards the fine leg region, where the Lanville Harrigan, one of the Anguillan great players, did the fielding, and the batsman crosses for yet another single. In fact, Keith Harrigan looks very much similar. But however, the total advances by 1 now to 86 for the loss of 3. So Keith Harrigan here in that very short third man region. Then there's a backward point, an extra cover, long off, long on the boundary. Dion comes up now to bowl to Lewis, and Lewis hits this in the onside, straight to Ashan Hodge in that short wicket position. Can't score. Should have been looking to do a lot better with that. Lots of gap between, of course, mid wicket and long on, and he chose to pick out the man in that very short wicket region. So the total remains on 86 for the loss of 3. The batsmen out so far: Dion, Damien Williams, and Akeem Sanders. So here is off the back foot goes Lewis and punches it out towards the man coming off the extra cover boundary, and that looks like Charles, but not before the batsman crossed for a single, which takes the total out to 87.
After 12 overs,
Akeem's son. In fact,
What do you think?
Lewis has gone on by 1. He has now gone to 15. And that's the latest score after 12 overs, a total 87 for the loss of 3. Beamers batting first.
Yes, another good over here for the Beamers. They're pushing the score along. They're taking their chances because this is the final of the 2022 APL. They're batting very steady, and Durham we know can hit the ball, and so is Lewis. Lewis is a very good stroke maker. But that was Lewis should have been back in the pavilion, but it's part of cricket. He was missed there. I don't know if the fielder misjudged it or what, but it went in and out, and the batsman were able to get 2 runs. But all in all, the Beamers are there going gently along.
So we're going to commence the 14th over, and who's the bowler? Is it Ashan Hodge? The ball from the Colin Bindo's pavilion end, and he'll be bowling to Michael Lewis. What is the bowler's name? Can you help me with the bowler's name, please?
Orlando.
So Bob.
And you all missed a very good day yesterday.
Orlando Wright.
Okay. So Wright, Rolando Wright will pick up the attack from the player's pavilion end, and it's going to be look like it's bowling left arm between the umpire and the stumps around the wicket to bowl to Michael, who downs the track and drives back past the bowler, and that ball. But in the end, it was not the batsman. For the loss of 3 in over number 14. And of course the Beamers are batting their 88 for the loss of 3. So here is Wright to bowl to Durham. There is a long off, a long on, then there's a mid wicket and a short mid wicket, a square leg right back on the boundary. Then there's an extra cover backward point and a man out on the cover boundary. Here in fact now it looks as though Lanville Harrigan is going to go. In fact, he's going to come back to the offside of the wicket. So there is no one between the wicketkeeper and the man out on the backward square boundary. So can Daniel get the ball in that position? It might be productive. Here is he now to receive off the back foot. He goes and punches it back to right. He does his own fielding, and I really think that should have been punched away for 1. In fact, the batsman didn't capitalize on the length of that delivery. Wright comes up now to bowl to Durham once more. This time he hits it into the turf and over the bowler's head, and will he be coming back for the second? In fact, Michael Lewis has been slipping and sliding all morning, but Durham has got yet another run which takes him to 3. The total now to 89. Beamers for the loss of 3 in this the 14th over. So of course you're listening to commentaries of the Anguilla Premier T20 League. Here is Wright as he goes up now to bowl to Lewis, who's splashing outside the line of the off stump, not making contact. The ball is gone through to be taken by Keyshawn Richardson. The score is kept on 89 for the loss of 3. Wright turns before us as he goes up to bowl to Lewis once more, and Lewis gets the delivery that he's on the front foot toe, taking the outer portion of the bat. Is going to run down to the third man region, and they are contemplating a second. They will now go for it, and as a result, the bails has been removed, but umpire Calvin Hart, standing in that square leg region, said not out. So 2 more runs to Lewis, which takes him to 17, and the score total has pushed on now to 91 for the loss of 3. So 91 for the loss of 3. Renford Kelsick, are you pleased with how the tournament has gone so far?
Yes, the tournament went very well this year. He had some surprises also. You know, one of the things I believe that Tony's going to let us know later on how both teams got to the finals. But what was interesting is that Carty, they raised a massive, they forfeited the match and still reached the finals.
Here is Wright to bowl to Lewis. Lewis is into the sweep shot, not making contact. Umpire signal wide. Extras will advance by 1 now to, is it 11 extras? And the total will go on by 1 to 92. So am I correct with the extras count? So here is Wright as he comes up now to bowl to Lewis once more. Lewis is defending in the onside. Will get an easy one. Good backing up from Daniel Durham. So the single is comfortably had. He now goes to 18. And Daniel, who has 3, comes down to half strike. The total has gone to 93 for the loss of 3 after 14 overs.
And what we see here, Keith, is that the Beamers, they are contented pushing the ball around, getting the singles. No doubt later on that we will get some fireworks. But so far, they're pushing the score gently along.
What I can tell you, we will have a new champion this time. I think it was the Farrington Blue Jays that won last time around. And they have been the dominant force of cricket in Angola, of course, but they didn't have a too good game yesterday. And in the end, Beamers were victorious in that match. And here they are playing against the Island Harbour Razor Massive. So who's going to win this afternoon? Well, your guess probably as good as mine. So we're asking you to come to the Webster's Park where you can actually be a part of what is happening here. And when we'll be ready to crown this year's 2022 APL T20 champions.
You just said some good words there, Keith. We don't know who will be the champion. As we know, the game of cricket, such a wonderful game, glorious uncertainties.
Well, one would wonder how glorious can it become. We'll have to wait on that. But as I speak, it's going to be Burton to continue from the far end, and he'll be bowling to Michael Lewis, who has 18. Daniel Durham has 3, so Lewis has 19, Durham has 3, and the total 93. Razor Massive, that is Beamers, for a loss of 3. So here is Burton as he tossing the ball from hand to hand. He'll be on his way to bowl to Lewis very shortly. So he comes up, bowls right arm over the wicket to Lewis. Lewis advances down the track and hits the ball down to long on. And Peters came off the boundary, did the fielding. The batsman settles for a single, which takes Lewis now to 20, and the score now to 94. 94 for the loss of 3. We're in the 15th over. And after this, of course, it will be another 5 more overs remaining. So here is Burton as he comes up to bowl to Durham. Durham gets a delivery that he is on the front foot sweeping, not making contact as the ball trickles off his pad down towards the backward square region. Keith Harrigan did the fielding, so 1 more run has been scored. In fact, he might have gotten some bat on that. There's no signal from the umpire. So Durham has gone to 4 and the total to 95 for the loss of 3. So here is Durham. And in fact, Lewis looks up and sees that Burton is very much on his way. Left arm, in fact, the right arm leg spinner bowls a flatter, faster delivery, and they are now crossed for 1. In fact, they'll have to settle for the single. I thought if they had tried a second, we would have had another wicket via the run-out route. But Michael has gone to 21, and the total to 96. The Beamers for the loss of 3. We're in over number 15, and let's have a look at the field. There is a long off, an extra cover, a cover, then there's a point right all in the boundary. Then there's Keith Harrigan in that short backward square. Here is Durham whipping this ball off the pad out towards, I would say, the man in the cow corner region, Charles the fielder, and he gets in, recovers after an initial fumble, but not before the batsman could have crossed for a single, which takes Durham on to 5, and the score is pushed on to 97 for the loss of 3. Of course, Durham and Michael plays for the very same team in St. Martin, that is the GA Spartans, and they have been the dominant force of cricket back there in St. Martin as well. And here is Burton trying to dislodge one of them as he bowls to Lewis, who gets another full toss and strokes it down towards Peters coming off the long on boundary. He will go by 1 to 22, and the score now to 98. 98 for the loss of 3, and like I said, these two are very crucial players in the setup of the GA Spartans in St. Martin. They would want to be very well the same thing here for the Beamers. Here is Burton to bowl to Daniel Durham off the back foot and blitzes off the pad out towards the backward square region, and they will cross for 1, and that's all they will be, which takes Durham now to 6 and the total now to 99 for the loss of 3 after some 15 overs for the Beamers.
Yes, good going again. They're very steady, pushing the ball around and getting the singles, because it all adds up, and we have another 5 overs to go. So no doubt the Beamers, and as you mentioned, the key is that both batsmen, those batters, they know each other in the wicket, so they have a good understanding.
So far there has been running well between the wickets. Michael has been slipping and sliding. I think we've seen him lost his balance about 3 or 4 times, but luckily for him and the Beamers, no one was able to effect a run out, but he would want to remain there. He's on 22, and I think he would want him to bat until the very end. Probably padded to come next would might be Colin Hamer, another player from St. Martin, and no doubt they would want to come over here and give a good showing of themselves, and in the end help the team do something to raise this trophy that I see standing before us here afternoon, Kelsey.
Yes, good trophy in it right here. Don't know who will be the winners, but later on we'll know.
Usually said that a winning team normally goes with the gold. This trophy is a wooden one by the appearance of things. Here is Daniel Durham as he hits us up in the air. Will the catch be taken? In fact, it falls short of the man coming up the wicket boundary, and they're going to cross for 2 now. And in the end, 2 comfortable runs being had by Durham, which takes his personal score now to 8. And the score now to 101 for the loss of 3. So the 100 has finally come for the Sunday Ground Beamers, and they would need to build upon this platform that they have so far.
A very good platform indeed, very good platform, and still some other batters there in the pavilion.
If they can get anywhere in the region of 140 or 150, it should be a challenging score. Peters and company has not really come good with the bat. Here is Wright as he goes up now to bowl to Durham. He's into the sweep shot. This time he's gone for. He split the gap between backward scrambled wicket across the boundary for 4 runs, and he now goes to 12 with that shot, and the score now to 105. 105 with that shot, and that's a very, very good shot, well executed by Durham, and the total pushed on to 105 for the loss of 3.
Yes, well executed, and he's tall. He's a tall. And if you pitch the ball there to him, of course, he's going to whack it away. Beautiful shot indeed.
Here is Wright as he goes up now to bowl to Durham. Another shot delivered, tugged in the onside. Will get at least 1. In fact, they might be getting 2. They're going to come back for the second. Will Peters effect a run out? Lewis is coming in, but in the end, gets home in the end. And 2 more runs to Beamers, which takes them now to 107. 107 for the loss of 3. 2 more runs to Durham, which takes him now to 14. And so far this over has produced a fair amount of runs. We've already seen 2 runs and then 4, that would be 6, and now 2. 8 runs so far from 3 deliveries. So can Durham continue? He's a very tall man, and here is Wright as he comes up now to bowl to Durham. Durham goes back and pulls it out towards a man coming in with wicket region, and will they be coming back for the second? No, they have decided against it, and probably corrected so, because that throw would have been spot on. And in the end, 1 more run to Daniel, which takes him now to 15, and the total advances by 1 to 108 for the loss of 3. Durham normally favors the sweep shot, even though he's a very tall man. I remember that from his very youthful years coming here. I think I used to coach those guys, so I would know about them, Kelsey. And it's good to see that he has gone on to be a part of the Leeward Islands franchise team presently. And, you know, we wish all cricketers all the best going forward.
That's true, that is true. We have to do that. We have to give them the support.
Of course, it's going to be Wright to bowl probably the 5th delivery in this, the 16th over. And here is him as he goes in to bowl to Michael Lewis, who has 22. Off the backward, Lewis attempts a reverse sweep, not making contact. And I think that I normally say that's, I would say, the unfortunate thing for having a TV screen in your home. But again, the game has evolved since then, so you really can't blame him for attempting shots like that. And here he is hitting the ball through the cover region, and they are returning now for the second run, and he has now gone to 24, and the total to 110. 110 for the loss of 3. We're in what, over number 16 now?
The end of 16.
In fact, the over has been completed. So 16 overs are gone, another 4 remaining. Can the Beamers get up to, I would say, at least 140 from here?
Yes, I believe that. Well, from this over we saw that they were pushing.
Gone, another 4 remaining. Can the Beamers get up to, I would say, at least. So Kelfick as Kelsick departs, and Brian is going to be the comments personnel. Brian, welcome to the microphones. I've been listening to you for a while, and as I told you yesterday, I've been very impressed with the work that you've been doing so far. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yes, good afternoon. The Beamers, they're off. They've set a good platform for them to explode here in the death overs.
Kelsick departs, and Brian is going to be the comments personnel. Brian, welcome to the microphones. I've been listening to you.
Power hitting left in the shed. A run of power hitting in the shed. They still have Shaka Hodge, they still have Giovanni Gums, and they still have the new batter in the man in Colin Eimer. He can strike the ball a fair distance. Was it Mentos can strike the ball a fair distance? They have a lot of power left in the shed. I've set a good platform to explode really in these last. The man in Colin Eimer. He can strike the ball a fair distance. Was it Mentos can strike the ball a fair distance? They have a lot of power left in notes as Sean Hodge, the captain.
Okay, but Kenroy David is the bowler from the far end, and seemingly bowling right arm around the wicket to Daniel Durham. These two players plays for the same club in St. Martin as well. So you know, when they meet in the middle as opposition, you know, they would always want to have the better of the other. So there is a long on to Daniel Durham. These two players plays for the same. A short, the wicket saving one. Then there's a long off, an extra cover point. Then a man out on the cover boundary and a man down on the backward point on the third man region. So here is Kenroy David bowling to Durham, who's on the front foot and strokes it down towards Jacob, who comes off the long on boundary. Settles for one. Daniel now goes by 1 to 16 and the total to 111. For the loss of 3, Beamers after a decent start, probably they would want to be another 20 runs on at this point in time with the fall of wickets that they've had so far. I think it was Akeem Saunders and Damien Williams opened the batting, and then Burton came at 3, and Burton was the last batsman to be dismissed. He was run out for 13. Since then, Durham and Lewis has joined forces, and they have taken the score to 111 without any further loss. So David is making some adjustments to his field, and all is seemingly set now. So there is a third man, a backward point, an extra cover. Then there's a man out on the cover boundary and a man in long off. That's the offside field. David comes up now to bowl to Michael. He pulls it in the onside, not with any timing or placement, and that just might be allowing the second run. So good running between Daniel Durham and Michael. Michael has now gone to 26 and a total to 113. For the loss of 3, we in what, over number 17 overs now. We in over number 17. So after this would be another 3 overs remaining. Stump guard from here,
Middle.
and he goes into his stance just about now, and it's going to be Kenroy David to bowl to Colin Hamer. Of course, these two gentlemen, I think they would be what, first cousins. Here is David as he comes up now to bowl to Hamer. Here's Hamer pushing it out in the offside, out towards the extra cover region, and the fielder skipped across his right, prevented the second, but Hamer's off the mark with 1, and the total has pushed on to 114 for the loss of 4. We're in the 17th over, and I think Burton would have made 13, Lewis made 26. I don't have the scores for Akeem Saunders and Damien Williams. And
25 and 20.
So Saunders had 25 and Damien Williams had 20. So good opening performance for both players. And here is Durham as he tugs this in the air. Will Keyshawn get behind it? No, he can't. And the ball trickles back in the onside. Will there be a chance of a run out? In fact, Colin Hamer Daniel gets back home for the second run. So 2 more runs to Durham, which takes him now to 18. And the score has pushed on to 116 for the loss of 4 wickets. And this is 17 over, of course. Razor massive there in the field. Beamers won the toss and chose to bat first. And in the end, they'll be asking themselves, well, have we scored enough runs? Well, we'll have to wait and see who will win this APTL championship later this afternoon. And here is David as he comes up now to bowl to Durham. The total 116 for the loss of 4. Here's the ball up in the air, and Durham looking for his favorite slug to the onside. Kenroy David using his experience, bowling it just wide of the off stump and a slower delivery as well. And Daniel Durham falling for the trap. So we've seen in this the 17th over, 2 wickets falling, and I don't think that is... Is going to pick up the attack from this, the Colin Bino stand end. And towards the mid-wicket region. Off the boundary comes Charles, fields well, and only 1 run there will be. So Mentos is off the mark immediately, and the total has pushed on to for the loss of 7, and you could not have asked for a better last 15 minutes than what Razor Masters have had, and that's if you're in the fielding position.
They've had a brilliant, I must say, a brilliant set of overs since the water break, really. They've gotten themselves right back into this game, and they've completely restricted the Beamers scoring, and they've picked up wickets now. And from a position of relative comfort, it's starting to look like at a point they could have gotten to about 160. They would want to at least get to 130, the way it's looking right now.
So I think from a position of 113 for the loss of 3, they are 117 now for the loss of 7 wickets. So, and like I said, this game is a game of glorious uncertainties. Now, who would have expected that this would have transpired? But in fact, it has transpired before our eyes. And the reality is that Beamers are 117 for the loss of 7 wickets. So the new batsman, Shaka Hodge, and he'll be doing battle against Peters and company, but it looks as though Giovanni Gums is the batsman in strike. So he's yet to get up the mark, the total 117 for the loss of 7 wickets. And can the Beamers go ahead and...
The man in Colin Eimer, he can strike the ball a fair distance. Was the Mentos can strike the ball a fair distance. They have a lot of power left in the shed. The captain.
Okay, but Kenroy David is the bowler from the far end to Daniel Durham. These two players plays for the 18, and the score has pushed on to 116 for the loss of 4 wickets. And this is 17 over, of course. Razor Massive, they're in the field. Beamers won the toss and chose to bat first. And in the end, they'll be asking themselves, well, have we scored enough runs? Well, we'll have to wait and see who will win this. Here is David as he comes up now to bowl to Durham. The total 116 for the loss of 4. Here's the ball up in the air, and Durham looking for his favorite slug to the onside.
Kenroy David using his experience, bowling it just wide of the off stump and a slower delivery as well.
After one time comes another, and as a result they'll have to give up that second run very easily. So the total has gone to 119 for the loss of 7.
Well,
some 18 overs.
With 2 new batters in the wicket, this is not the position that the Razor Masters would have, the Beamers would have wanted to be in at all. They'd have wanted one of Lewis or Daniel Durham to still be there, and they would have wanted to accelerate, but this is not the first time we've seen something like this. A couple of weeks ago, the team went from 93 for 3 to 99 for 8 or something like that. So this is not a new occurrence here in this APL. We've seen numerous collapses towards the death overs.
Well, that's what the fielding team would want, if you should ask them that, but it's going to be Kenroy David, probably in the course of his last over.
And the man in Colin Eimer, he can strike the ball a fair distance. Was the Mentos can strike the ball a fair distance. They have a lot of power left in the shed. The captain.
Okay, but Kenroy David is the bowler from the far end to Daniel Durham. These two players plays for the 18, and the score has pushed on to 116 for the loss of 4 wickets. And this is 17 over, of course. Razor Massive, they're in the field. Beamers won the toss and chose to bat first. And in the end, they'll be asking themselves, well, have we scored enough runs? Well, we'll have to wait and see who will win this APTL championship later this afternoon. And here is David as he comes up now to bowl to Durham. The total 116 for the loss of 4. Here's the ball up in the air, and Durham looking for his favorite slug to the onside. Kenroy David using his experience, bowling it just wide of the off stump and a slower delivery as well. to the Coconut region for 4 runs. So a bit of comic there, beating right to his left, to his right, and then Ken Wright to his left, and just rolling into the, I would call it the Coconut region for 4 runs. So Hodge will now go with that 4 to 9. The total has pushed on to 130 for the loss of 9. So a bit of comic there for you.
Well, right, he's dropped the catches come off the field. Funge just come on to replace him. I think right before his fingers, they're trying to catch that one. He's dropped 2 catches today. It's a theme really. Right, he's not the best catcher of the cricket ball. Well, right, he's dropped the catches come off the field. Funge just come on to replace him. I think right before his fingers, they're trying to catch that one. He's dropped 2 catches today. It's a theme really. Right, he's not the best catcher of the cricket ball.
In my view, I think Funge is a bit wide. Can't just hit the ball straight. He's definitely find the wrong word with him. So that's the one to total 130. I predict he will get 140. Yes, as they speak, there's a superstar. Jacob is now going to come along and Funge will go in there.
Very smart, very, very smart. He wants your best fielders in the key positions, and they have Akeem Charles, Kenroy David, and Jacob Piles in the 3 power regions for Shaka Hodge, from Square Leg all the way around to Long On. Very, very smart by Captain Ashon Hodge. And even better, they're putting Funge behind the points, putting him at 3rd man. So any ball that goes off the outside, Funge is fast, so he will run it down.
We have to wait and see whether he's fast enough. Here it is as he comes out the ball to Hodge. Hodge is rising, looking to go over the top, not making contact. The ball is going to be taken by keeper Keyshawn Richardson. So another double's been in our scorers book. Total 130 fast enough for the loss of 9 wickets. Shaka Hodge definitely looking to go for the maximum here. Peters goes away from us to bowl to Hodge. Hodge is swinging this to the onside. It looks as though the ball will go into the stand for 6 runs. So a short delivery, a slow delivery attempted, and Hodge was on the back foot and pulling it very early. He now goes to 9, 10, 15, 16, and the total has gone to 136. So Hodge has gone to 16. The total 136. I predicted 140. Can they get up to that 140 mark?
Well, that was a gift from Sherwin Peters. It was slow, but it was short and set up beautifully for Shaka Hodge.
Here is Peters as he comes up now to bowl to Hodge. Hodge gets a delivery that he's hitting high in the air, out towards Paul's coming off the easy catch, and that's the end of the Beamers. And you've seen they've been bowled out for 136. And as we said earlier, very good move from Ashon Hodge to get Jacobs down here, because had it been Funge here, you might have had the batsman still running up and down to finalize whatever score they probably could have had. But good performance from the Razor Massive so far to bowl out the opponents for 136 with at least what?
1 ball remaining.
1 ball remaining. I think they should be complimented.
Yes, 1 ball remaining in the innings, and the Beamers, they've fallen for 136. A good bowling performance. After the Beamers got off to a flyer, they were going at just around 8.5 in the power play overs, going very well. But yet again, we've seen a score of 130 in the middle of the 130s. Yesterday we saw 134, then 135, and today we see 136.
Well, like I've said, from a position of 113 for the loss of 3, things went downhill for the Sunderland Beamers, and in the end they were finally bowled for 136. Good bowling performances came from Kenroy David. I think he would have taken 4 for 25, and Sherwin Peters, I think he would have taken 4 wickets as well for about, I would say, 20 odd as well. So 8 wickets shared between those 2 bowlers. You could not ask for more. So as I speak, the Beamers are already back off the field, and the Razor Massive now are making their way off the field of play. So I would assume in the next 5 to 10 minutes you can join us back here for more coverage of the Razor Massive's innings.
A full scorecard for you. Akeem Saunders, 725 from 18. Damian Williams scored 20 from 22. Dion Burton scored 13 from 16. Michael Lewis 26 from 28. Daniel Durham got to 18 of 17. Colin Aimer scored 1 from 3. That's where the collapse started. After Amos scored 1 from 3, Mentor scored 1 from 1 where he was run out. Giovanni Gums scored 2 from 4. Ron Rogers scored a duck, a first ball duck, and Shaka Hodge got to 16 from 8. The bowling figures for Yolanda Wright, very expensive. He went for 38 off his 4 overs. Sharon Peters bowled 3.5 overs bowled, 1 for 30. Ken Wright gave it to pick up the bowlers, 4 overs, 4 for 25. Supported well, brilliantly by Jacob Pauls, 4 overs, 2 for 16. And Richard Bob, the leg spinner, economical as always, 4 overs, none for 23.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Beamers all out for 130. 134, and with that we are here to bring you an update about our sponsors. We'd like to tell you that Remington Lake was also is also a sponsor for this tournament, and the Lake World will be sponsoring an individual award to the man of the match for $1,000. That's $1,000. And we'd also like to thank Baker Gum from the Local College, Lakes World, 97.7 FM Radio, Lloyd's Live, Fast FM Radio, Fast FM Radio Anguilla, Queen Street, Megachild 44, Best Buy Supermarket, Safe Cargo, Anguilla Electronics, Sid and the Pizza Supermarket, Anguilla, King Ocean, Carrington Mall, Magical Insurance, Aurora Resort, Golf Club, American University of Anguilla, Mayhaw J. Suda, and Jerry Suda. Those are our sponsors, and they will bring to you live coverage on the next page and just about 5 minutes.
Thank you, Zulma, and to all of our sponsors. As usual, we are so appreciative of the fact that you have taken the time to really hop on board with us to really produce for you this tournament, and we have seen it come to fruition with the finals today. The Beamers versus the Razor Mastiff. We just saw the Beamers scoring 136 all out in the 19.5 overs, which gives the Razor Massive 137 to be had at the end of this day, and to recover the trophy as well for the 2022 first place championship Anguilla APL. We're going to talk to Mr. Oliver McDonough in just a bit, and on behalf of the Cricket Association, and then we'll have a word with one of the key personnel in this APL tournament, Mr. Alkins Rogers, shortly. We're just awaiting Mr. McDonough to come and have a word with us right here at our microphone. As you hear the music blaring in the background there, this really good day for cricket, good day for good day for cricket. As I say, good afternoon and welcome to Mr. Oliver McDonough. Good afternoon, Oliver. Welcome to the microphones of Class FM 92.9 and Radio Anguilla, as also live stream Mega Charles 54. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here. Good afternoon, listen, public.
Yes, and
all the cricket lovers out there. Thanks for tuning in today.
Yes, and you are here on behalf of the Cricket Association, is that it?
Yes, actually, as you would know, that we have just had the elections. We just had a newly elected board, May 7th.
Yes, can you share some of the administrators on the board? Do you know some of the administrators off the top of your head, maybe?
Absolutely. And a matter of fact, Ann Paul, she remained as chair of the board. Myself, the vice chair of the board. Leon Lake, treasurer of the board. Shivnaran Benjamin, secretary of the board. Ashley White, players representative. Benjamin Hughes, PR, public relations.
Wonderful, and it's been so Anguilla Premier League T20 tournament. How instrumental was the Cricket Association playing a role in bringing that on stream to have cricket playing in Anguilla again?
Well, I have no doubt that they were involved, and obviously you would understand this is the second tournament of the APL, and the board has been newly elected, so I would want to believe that the former committee would have been very much involved and assisting with this tournament or playing a role with the APL group to pull out this tournament.
What is the new association looking forward to going into a new term? What are their plans for cricket and the development of cricket here in Anguilla, especially here in Anguilla?
Well, obviously that is the responsibility of the Cricket Association to ensure to develop and promote cricket on the island. And as you would know and appreciate that the pandemic for some reason has set back not only cricket in Anguilla but in the region over the last couple of years. So we're now getting involved. We got a better understanding of what is going on. And for short-term goal, we do understand that first of all, we must really give thanks and appreciation for the APL for really keeping cricket alive here in Anguilla. We believe that without this APL tournament, we are not certainly would have been of the last couple of years. It appears to be a very successful tournament. Last year obviously was exciting. This year is even more exciting. I wouldn't talk much about my team, as you know, I'm part of a setup. But at the end of the day, the short-term goals for the Cricket Association going forward, we must work together for what we have here right now, and we believe that this is a platform that we can certainly take advantage of to advance the short-term objective and development of the game. One of the areas that we believe that, you know, in order to ensure that cricket is developed to the level that is required on the islands, that you have to carry it back to the primary schools, and that is one area that we're looking at. There's a little bit I'll share with you about that, but that's definitely, we're hoping that we can get it back in all 6 primary schools, to include the secondary schools for sure. We're hoping right after this tournament we can probably start a league that will include, I'm hoping that we can get 3 to 5 teams registered, and I'm hoping those teams can play that league locally. And as you would be aware that they're usually a regional league amongst the regional islands, St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Kitts Nevis. In the last 2 years that tournament have not taken place. That tournament is now scheduled to take place this October, so Anguilla must prepare and be ready for national side to compete in that league for sure. That is what we're hoping to do. We're hoping starting this semester, if we can negotiate with the Education Department and the Ministry of Sports to see how we can work together to put cricket back in the primary schools. We believe that is where cricket belongs, and that's where it should start in order to develop and ensure that cricket is sustained. For years we have not done that. I shouldn't say we have not done that, but we have not paid enough attention to that. So now we believe with some opportunities that was given to us over the last few months, I should speak about I should say then that I was lucky enough to receive a container of gear, cricket gear, from a club in the UK, Lord's Tavern. Lord's Tavern, I think is the name. And we have sufficient gear to probably suit all 6 primary schools at all ages, and probably more for the islands as well. So with that in itself, we believe there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to develop cricket to the level that we wanted to see it played in Anguilla. So that's been a great gift from Lars and Tarvin. We really want to, you know, Anne Edwards and Paul, I'm sorry, the former president, she's very much instrumental in that. And a few other persons that was involved in the board that were very much involved in sourcing that gear. And we believe that gear is going to help us quite a bit in moving and advancing cricket forward. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you, Oliver, because, we'll talk more about this. I'll give you an invite to Sportsmen in Sports. That's good for you on Radio Anguilla each and every Wednesday evening, hopefully after the festive season, and we can discuss further the plans of the Cricket Association with the newly elected board and what are their plans going forward to better the cricket playing here right here in Anguilla. We are just about getting ready to start the second half of this this encounter here with the Razor Massive. They have got 136 runs, 137 if they really want to put their hands on the trophy. As I say, good afternoon again. Welcome at Millington. We've got a good match on our hands here this afternoon.
Indeed, and something that you may not have realized, Tony, we started at 134 semi-final number 1 yesterday. Then we went to 135, and now we are up to 136. Well, are you a betting man, Tony? 137 to get. 137. It's what the Razor Massive will need if they want to overhaul this total. The opening batsman for the Razor Massive is Sherwin Peters. Sherwin Peters, and with him, his partner is Colin David.
Oh.
So it's going to be David David is going to be at the non-striker end. It is going to be Daniel Dorham who will be starting a tall left arm orthodox from the Central Polyclinic end. He will be starting for the Beamers, and to battle for the Razor Massive, it's going to be Sherwin Peters. Sherwin Peters, the right-handed tall middle order batsman for the Leeward Island. St. Martin, Leeward Island, all around there. Very interesting target this is. Here is Durham, left arm around the wicket to bowl to Peters. Peters to this delivery is looking ready for aggressive shot outside the line of the off. Some ball coming off the under edge and trickling out to man at straight extra cover. No run resulting. 137 is the target. Here is Durham to bowl to Peters. Peters is getting one off the inside edge. They're going to throw for a quick single and will get it to keeper. Getting moving away, sending the return. Whipping the glove off very quickly, but was unable to hit the stumps directly. So Peters is off the mark, and the Razor Massive is up and running, and they're one without loss. And over number 1, being bowled by Durham from the Central Polyclinic end, looking to dismiss one of these batsmen very early. 137 the target, 136 scored by the Beamers. Winning the toss, choosing into bat. Here is Durham to bowl to Colin. David is getting this one off the inside edge. Again, similar shot and similar result. Good start by Durham. 1 to David, 1 to Peters. It's 2 for no loss. 2 for no loss over number 1 with 3 balls bowled so far. Here is Durham to bowl to Peters. Peters is getting one. He's not sure about that one, and that man needs to be shorter. That man needs to be closer in, and that is Ron Rogers. I think that he needs to be a little closer in there at backward square. Peters gets his second run. Razor Massive gets their third run. Here is Daniel Durham. Pass umpire Calvin Hughes short, and he's punching this one well down to extra cover. Giovanni Gums comes off the boundary, sends the return. Total moves on by 1 to 4, and David moves on to 2. both batsmen are in 2. It's 4 for no loss. Razor Massive in their first final. Season 2. Here is Doran to bowl to David. David is getting one off the inside edge and off the pad. And that's Peters rather. It's Peters. The end of the over. A good start by Doran, and at the end of 1, Razor Massive in search of 137 for victory. They are 4 for no loss, Tony.
Yes, a good start there by the Beamers, the Razor Massive. They will certainly have to be very watchful of these bowlers from the Beamers team, because they can be very miserly at times. You have the likes of Joe Gums. You've just seen Durham bowling his first over, well on target, not giving anything freely away to the batters that are there so far. And so in order for the Razor Massive to really accumulate these runs, they'll certainly need to watch every ball and play each ball and its merit.
Yes, 137 minutes. Sound like a lot of runs, but we've seen it yesterday at 135, 136 was a bit too much for both teams to chase, and so today we are. Well, 136, 5 was chased by the Beamers, but 135 was too much to get by the Pointers. It's a 4 for no loss. 4 for no loss. Giovanni Gums will pick up the attack from this, the commentator's booth end, with the score on 4 for no loss. And over number 2. He's going to be bowled by Giovanni Gums in a mid-wicket. Mid-on, short fine leg, short third man, backward point, cover point, man sweeping on the outside. Here is Gums, a full toss, a no ball that goes away for 4. Not a good start, not a good start, and it must be called, isn't it, a no ball? It's a no ball, single and 4 runs, so 5 runs, 5 runs, just 1 over ball so far. 1 over on the ball so far, and it's a 9 for no loss. It's a dangerous ball. Ball there by Giovanni Gums. So it's going to be a free hit for David. Yet to bowl a ball and 5 runs has come off the over so far. Already tapping in the first over. Here is Gums to bowl to Colin. Colin is David. That's a good feeling there by Michael Lewis. 1 more run to the total. The score moves on by 1 to 10. David is on. David goes on to 7. 7 is David. Brings Peters. Sherwin Peters on strike. He is on 2. Peters on 2. David on 7. It's 11. It's 10 for no loss. 10 for no loss. There is 1 around down the leg side and a wide call and signal by the umpire. Giovanni Gums not getting it right at all. Reader. It's off the radar, and Giovanni Gums is saying that one came off the pad, umpire. That one came off the pad. That wasn't a wide, but the umpire saw it differently and says that's a wide. Score moves on by 1 to 11. Need 136 at a run rate of 6.69. Here is Giovanni Gums to bowl to Peters. Peters is in this one, down the ground. And coming around the boundary is Durham, who sends the return, gets 1. It's Peters. He moves on by 1 to 3. And the total moves on by 1 to 12. A 12 for no loss. Over number 2. In search of 137 for victory. The Razor Massive, and to raise coveted title of APL, APTL, Anguilla Premier League, T20 League. Season 2. Here is Giovanni Gums to bowl to David. Bowl to David. David is coming forward and pushing in the offside. He's going to get 1 extra cover. That will Williams. Total moves on by 1 to 13. David is on 8. 8 is David. 3 is Peters. Taps away, waits for Giovanni Gums. When he gets there, Peters is hitting this one down to mid-on. They're gonna get one. Shaka Hodge moves away to his right, sends the return. Can't stop the one. Can't stop Peters from moving on to his fourth run. It's 14 for no loss. 14 for no loss over number 2. Here is Giovanni Gums to bowl to David. David is hitting this one to the right of Shaka Hodge and down to the long of Bongo for 4. Ball was hit away down to long on, and it goes away for 4 runs. Very expensive over here. David moves to 12 and the total moves on to 18, and the second over has yet not been completed, Tony.
He's only bowled 5 balls so far.
Conceded 14 runs.
Yes.
14 runs so far off. This is the second over. Very expensive over. A very good start by Razor Massive. 18 for no loss. Here is Gums. Field changing there. Here is Gums to bowl to David. David is pulling this one, 4 runs. Good looking shot, and held over square leg. 1 bounce into the boundary. It goes away for 4. And a very expensive over in which we saw some 18 runs. And the Razor Massive has raced on to 22 for no loss after 2.
Yes, and certainly Giovanni Gums will want to forget about that over there. Didn't start as well as he would have liked, and like he did yesterday when they played in the semi-finals against the Farrington Super Sixers, giving away quite a number of runs, some 18 runs coming in that over there for Gums, and certainly not the way the Beamers would want to start in defending that 136 runs that they did posted for the Beamers. So far, 2 overs being bowled, 22 going at 11 and over. The Beamers, on the other hand, they scored 7 from their first and were 16 from their second, and so 6 runs difference. They'll certainly want to do better than that.
Here is one to Peters. Peters is looking to drive. Ball coming off the outer portion of the bat and trickling out in the offside. No run resulting. Score remains on 22 for no loss. In the course of over number 3, been bowled by Doran from the Central Polyclinic end. Here is Doran to bowl to Peters. Peters is driving. Doran fields. No run resulting. Score remains on 22. Doran continues to be tight. 4.2, 1.2, considering some 4 runs up to this point. Doran to Peters, bowl to Peters. Peters is driving well, and he's gonna get runs here. They've gone for 1. This is gonna get into the long on bung with 4 runs. Wonderful shot there. Wonderful shot by Peters. And it goes away down to long on, the vacant long on boundary, 4 runs.
We've certainly seen a different type of Razor Massive yesterday and again today. They have certainly came to the party to really put their hand on this trophy, Millington.
Indeed. 26 they have raced on to 111 to get from 105 balls at a run rate of a 6.54. Here is Doran again to Peters. Peters is driving and knocked down by Doran. Well done there by Doran. The farm orthodox. No run resulting. Score remains on 26. In over number 3. Here is Doran to bowl to Peters. To this delivery. Short and pull well, 4 runs.
4 runs to the
Well, the Razor Massive means business. They have raced on to 30, and we have not yet to see the end of over number 3. Oh, this is good going. This is very good going. Razor Massive, David and Peters, no nonsense batsmen, and they are on a mission. 100 and 37 the target. Here is Doran to Peters. Peters is again hitting this one, but straight to mid-wicket, short mid-wicket. It's Joe Gums who fails. No run resulting. The over coming to an end. And at the end of over number 3, the Razor Massive in search of 137 for victory. They are 30 without loss.
Just continuing with the momentum, the Razor Massive Millie, when they were in the field, having been able to contain the Beamers. At one point, the Beamers were 113 for 3, only managed to score an additional of some 33 runs on well, not 33, but 23 runs to get to 136, and just carrying the momentum, we can see